We black, family. We black. Yes, indeed. Today we're gonna be talking about. Today we're gonna be talking about if we were here before the European, why identify as American? Why identify as American? Now that cause that it's a little it's confusing to a whole lot of people. You see, it's confusing to a whole lot of people as because you got certain people say they indigenous, and that might be their argument. That might be their argument. You know what I'm saying? That they don't want to identify with the American ideology. Because they were here before the European. To identify with American is to start your history with the white man. You see, that's what it is. Americo Vespucci. That was what was he? He was a Spaniard. Americo Vespucci, he was a damn Portuguese, one of the two. You see, that's who they named Americas after. That's who they named America after. Americo Vespucci. People always talking about Africa was named after Leo Africanus, which is a damn lie. That could be easily disputed. You know what I'm saying? That could be easy, but people parrot that shit, all the time. And Leo Africanus lived in the damn, what was it, the 1600s, 1700s? That ain't even that long ago. So I mean, people can't even, for the sake of their own, the respect of being a scholar, they can't even do better than that to take a man that lived in the 1700s and say that Africa, man, and when you look that up, you'll find out that the term Africa was used even during the Roman times. Even before the Romans. It was used before the Romans and shit. So at least, you talking about BC that the term Africa was being used. Even in the BC period, the term Africa was used for a certain segment of Africa, not necessarily the continent, but the northern regions of the continent. And later it became, a term that was used for the whole continent. But nevertheless, we know where America come from. It comes from Americo Vespucci, which was a Portuguese or Spaniard man. Okay? And so, my question is, you can't identify with Africa, but you can identify with Americo Vespucci. I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm trying to figure that one out because that ain't got nothing to do with the lineage. Black, foundational black Amerigo Vespuccians. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what the fuck where is we going with this? Where is we going with this? So that's a damn, because if it's all about, we our own people and shit and we got our own culture, then why do you identify with somebody that's not from this lineage? Americo Vespuccian was not no damn foundational, he was an American, he was the first American, if that's what you want, because it was named after him. It would be named something else. So he's the first American. Americo Vespucci. That's who named the fucking continent was named after. And that's who you identify with. That's who you identify with when you say American. You identify with Americo Vespucci. So I know we are ancient people. Ain't no motherfucking way I'm going to identify with no damn Americo Vespucci. And so I can see where some of the indigenous folks, they say, oh, we can't identify. So really what it boiled down is that a lot of the foundational black Americans, they don't want to leave outside of the European paradigm. That's just what it is. They feel comfortable in that paradigm. You feel me? Because what they want and what they trying to get, far as reparations or any, it falls within that paradigm. They don't want to be in confrontation with that white man about none of the laws that been written and shit. They don't want to be in confrontation because they know, you see, cricket. Listen, don't come in here with your small mind. Please, don't come in here with your small mind. Don't come in here with your small mind. We don't, fine, go watch Sesame Street or something, go watch Barney, go where the level of your mentality is. We don't need nobody coming in here with no damn silly shit like that. Find you somewhere to be. We that's what's wrong when people having a conversation. Here comes some little minded, yeah, little minded. No, little minded. You ain't coming here to do nothing. You ain't coming here to share no knowledge. You just coming here with your divisiveness. That's what it is. Cause what the fuck? What does that mean? What does it mean? Where is it taking us? Is that gonna evolve us? If you can't come in this motherfucker and say something that can, what is that? What is it gonna do for anybody else outside? You want to come in and you want to address something I said. We trying to each one teach one. So what the fuck is you saying that could help anybody else that see that comment? You just show up just to have, to say some shit to make you feel like you know something. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. Cause you come in here straight up. You ain't said shit yet that somebody could take from out of the chat and say, you know what, that was a gem. I could take and build on that. What the fuck have you said since you've been here? Explain that. I'm serious. What have you said? That's why you don't need to be here. You need to go somewhere where you could, be yourself. You feel me? Yeah, go somewhere. No, it ain't anger shit because you ain't nobody to me. You nobody to me. Who are you? You know what? Watch this. I'm going to show you how powerful I am. Watch this. See, now you go. Yeah, they talking about, and all I had to do is do that. Boop. Bye, see you, and wouldn't want to be you. But anyway, they come in and they just want a little second, and I shouldn't even address, but I just sometimes I feel like I should I should crush some of this shit need to be crushed every now and then, and so I reached out. But anyway, we still because we keep talking all of this. It's about lineage, but a lot of this shit ain't from your lineage, but you identify with it. I already pushed the button. Yup. Yeah. So the thing is, if it's about a lineage, then but you can't diss Africa and then promote Americo Vespucci. You can't diss Africa and then promote Christianity and Islam. Y'all could do all of that, but the only group you seem to have a problem with is the African. Is the African. You got a problem, and that's all you got, the African. Every now and then you but the majority of it is the African aspect. You need to, bring what's his name? The Willie Lynch blueprint out, and bring all type of divisiveness against black people on the planet. It's already enough divisiveness. We don't have to magnify that and make shit worse. We don't have to magnify and make shit worse. We try to, build a bridge beyond that shit where those who don't think like that can cross that bridge and build with their brothers and sisters. And it's a lot of building that is already happening and could happen, if people can get beyond that little speck in their eye that everybody is bad, everybody out to get you. the boogeyman. The boogeyman is running through Africa, and everybody out to get you. You got to come out of that. You got to come out of that. Like I said, it's a whole lot of people enjoying not just Africa, but all around the world, just to be able to go and see shit. It be that closed-minded individual always looking for a way to keep a nigga on the plantation. And so you got to get up and see some of this shit yourself. Most of these people, man, they talk about Africa, ain't never been to Africa. They ain't never been. And like I say, a lot of people's is just they nature is that they been left out a lot of shit. They ain't never been the type that people, pick them to get on teams and shit like that, or in school, in sports and nothing. They was always the one that was left out. And so because they was left out, they got a certain trauma where they don't, they used to being by themselves, being ridiculed. So a lot of times, as soon as they get an opportunity to join a team, and that they didn't have to even, you didn't even have to get picked. Just so happen based on what they say FBA is, you could automatically be FBA. Now these are the people that never got picked for shit. Now they on a team and they the biggest cheerleader. But you could tell a lot of them is nobodies. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to hate for the sake of hating. That's all they do. But where is the higher level of your consciousness? Where you evolve or you elevate yourself far above the nigga that you talking about. Okay, address a nigga. Then evolve on some days where you don't even address that because you dealing with a higher consciousness. We rarely get motherfuckers because maybe they don't have a higher consciousness. You see? Yeah. You know what? I know that the first people over here was Africans. I don't have to even go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I can clearly when I pull my old Mac Voyages of the Nile out, I slam dunk. You say delineation is what, I mean, what are you delineating from? I mean, you in America. What the fuck? You saying you delineating? Nigga, you in America. You already delineated. What the fuck? What is you delineating from? And explain to me, okay? Now, you say you not from, and like I say, the majority of niggas in America is on some street shit. So, I mean, if you want to delineate, you should delineate from that crack selling and all that. Niggas ain't want to delineate from that. They ain't want to delineate from the drug selling and all the murdering and all that. Delineate against, go on a crusade against that. You see? So all of a sudden, your delineating from Africa or whatever that may be, that don't change that. Yeah, yeah, nigga, you mad. See, right there, you mad. Yeah, I knew it. That you hurt. You the same nigga I just deleted. You done came back on. Boy, you the nigga that didn't get picked. You didn't get picked, nigga. That's what it is. Ah, you the nigga that never got picked for shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. You ain't get picked, nigga. You got a little nigga syndrome. Let me go get your ass up out of here. Yeah, yeah. Let me go get you on up out here, Hollywood. Yeah, you is Hollywood. Yeah, yeah. Got him on up out of here. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, family, I appreciate y'all coming on out and building with the general. Make sure y'all get on over there to Patreon, build. Get that too raw for YouTube. Check me out, General Seti, Etsy, One Stop, KingSeti.com. Check it out, family. I'll be black in a minute. Black Pop.